Good morning. This is Beth at PTSD Penguin. I have one of my 200 penguins with me today to talk a little bit more about PTSD and what it is and how it affects you. First of all, I'm going to read a little description of PTSD and what it is. Post-traumatic stress disorder, mental health condition that is triggered by a terrifying event, either experiencing it or witnessing it. The symptoms can include flashbacks, nightmares, severe anxiety, uncontrollable thoughts about the event. Now, I know a lot of you probably have gone through some of that. I know I have. It's not a fun thing to go through. It's very mind-boggling. It can be very emotional. It can affect people around you, and it definitely makes you feel out of control. Recently, I haven't had that many outbursts. I've had a couple when I go to work. Work seems to be my biggest trigger right now. So I've been trying to work through that. What is your biggest trigger? What causes you to have anxiety or nightmares, or what is your trigger for your PTSD? As you know, mine was the robbery I had at the grocery store back in the 1980s. It got re-triggered by the mask mandate. Now it gets triggered by all kinds of different things. I never know when it's going to happen or what's going to cause it. I have noticed on my Facebook recently, I guess because of this YouTube channel, I'm getting all kinds of links and things about PTSD. I haven't had a chance to read them all, but they are helpful, but there's a lot of stuff out there that I don't think is real. So if you're flipping through Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube and you come across this stuff, be careful when you're reading it. Make sure it is real. Don't sign up to join any trials or anything like that, because I don't think they're real. I think they're just trying to get your money or do other things to you that you might not want them to do to you. I had a lot of anxiety with COVID going around just because everybody was bombarding me with everything and they didn't want to be around me. They didn't want to talk to me, just because of my own opinion and my own feelings. I've lost friends. I've lost relatives, not to death from COVID, but just not talking to me anymore. And that's hard on somebody who's going through PTSD to lose friends because of this, or lose acquaintances or family members just because of your beliefs. I remember the day when politics was around and people were fighting each other over it, and it was not scary to say that I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat or I'm a liberal or whatever. It just was part of life. Now, if you walk up to somebody and you say, hey, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat, and they're not one of those, they get all violent with you, they get very outspoken with you, and they treat you like garbage. And I know with me, when they start doing that, for some reason that kicks my PTSD off. I'm not trying to get political on this. I'm just telling you things that have noticed that are triggering my PTSD. My safety part is, like I said, my penguins. I have over 230 of them in my house. I have one on my desk. I have a drinking cup that's a penguin. See right here? So I have penguins with me all the time. And because of that, that keeps me a little bit more sane, doesn't cause me to go off as much. I know when I'm at work and somebody says something or I have an issue, I have a little dinky penguin on my desk and I just sit down and I breathe and I stare at my little penguin. What do you do to calm you down? Do you take walks, take rides, take medication? What do you do? I know I haven't had very many comments on my YouTube video recently, but I would love to hear from you. I would love for you to subscribe so you can watch my videos more. I'm going to try to do more. It's just with work, it's hard for me to get the time to do this, but I am going to try, because this is my therapy. Talking to you, getting it off my chest, and dealing with all of it. One other thing I wanted to mention is, I know I mentioned goals to you. I have gone through the part about traveling and going back to the places that I've been to. One of the things I did have to do, which was really hard, is I know I mentioned going to my dad's grave. Well, my mother was cremated, and for me to tie up loose ends with her, it was a little bit more difficult, because I actually threw her ashes in the bay at Coronado, because she spent a lot of time in Coronado. She loved Coronado. So I've gone back to Coronado. There's a little beach out there, and I go sit there and I talk to her and I cry and I just try to deal with the loss of my mother. according to my therapist, I never actually tied up the loose ends with my mom or my dad. So I had to take care of that. And that's helped mended some of the parts of me mentally. PTSD is part of it, but also other mental things can cause you to go into mental flare-ups with your PTSD or be depressed because of things around you. By talking to my mom, sitting there, it gave me solitude. It helped me close up a chapter because when my mom passed away, I was not there. I actually walked into the house when she passed away. The hospice nurse didn't tell me she passed away, so I paid the bills and I left. And then that afternoon, I decided to go back over to the house to see her. And when I got there, they were taking her out on the gurney and told me she had passed away. Nobody called me or anything. I didn't get to say goodbye to her. And that was really hard on me. Even talking about this right now is really hard on me. It's just like your final goodbyes is the last time you see them, the last time you can talk to them or have any closure. And I never had that. So that is really digs at me. I know the anniversary of my parents' death is really hard on me. This past year wasn't as bad just because I've been dealing with trying to mend all that. But the first week of August is really hard. If you know me, you know that I usually don't work that week. It's also the week of my birthday. So the whole week is really emotional turmoil for me. Sorry, I'm trying not to cry at the moment. I also, after my mom passed away, I got rid of the house that they were living in and I moved to where I am now. Well, the city I'm in now. And living here has been interesting because there's no real memories of them, but other things bring it up. I mean, the job I do, and if you know me, you know what job I do have. I deal with a lot of people going through grief and the final expense type of thing and dealing with their finances and everything like that. And that does stir up a lot of memories in my head, but it also helps me deal with customers that I have to deal with because I've been there, I've done that. And I know what they're going through. So I try to be very empathetic. I try to be sympathetic and I try to help them work through it. But they don't realize it's actually helping me as well. The more I talk to them and help them, it's helping me deal with it too. Again, this is Beth at PTSD Penguin. I will talk to you soon. And please, please, please spread the word about PTSD Penguin. Like my videos and subscribe. I do appreciate you and have a great Sunday afternoon. Thank you.